was first learning how to solo playing blues, playing electric guitar. I learned how to play minor pentatonic, and then I learned how to play major pentatonic, and they were these two different things. And I didn't realize for the longest time that what makes some of my favorite playing sound like it does is that it's someone combining those two things together. In this lesson, I want to show you a simple way to start combining major and minor pentatonic when you're finger picking in the key of C. We'll go over a couple of specific licks just to give you an idea of what it looks like when it's all put together. The licks in this lesson are just one small example of what I'll be teaching all this month in my membership, the Fingerstyle 5, where we're going to take the month and focus entirely on improvising over an alternating thumb in the key of C. If you'd like to learn more about that and sign up, check out the Fingerstyle 5 at the link below or the link on screen. All right, if you're playing in the key of C, the alternating thumb is going to be going between the 5th string, the 4th string, the 6th string, and the 4th string, and that's going to be your basic groove. Then on top, we've got two scale choices. We've got the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. So in practical terms, if we think of this, this is the root, C. For major pentatonic, if we're going to go down to the 3rd string, we've got the 6th and the 5th. So just root, 6th, and 5th. And going up, we've got the root, the 2nd, and then if we go as far as the high string, we've got the major 3rd. And then for the minor pentatonic, below the root, we've got the flat 7 in the 5th. And above it, we've got the root, we've got the flat 3rd and the 4th when we're going up. Now, usually we think of those as two separate things, but if you just lay them on top of each other, from the root going down, we've got the flat 7, the 6, and the 5. And from the root going up, we've got the root, the 2nd, the flat 3rd, and the 3rd. So the first lick that we can do is something like this. And it's got kind of a swing feel to it. And if we put it over the bass, we have... That's pretty different from when you play in C and everything sounds super bright because you're using so much of this major 3rd on top. Here, instead, the two significant things we have going on are the sound of the root and the major 6th and the sound of the flat 3rd and the way it relates to the 2nd and the root. So what I'm doing is playing root and 6th and root, and then playing 2nd, sliding up to the flat 3rd, sliding back to the 2nd, going to the root, and then repeating the 6th and the root. So all together it's... And so you might want to work out that melody first and just make sure that you can play it using just your fingers, because your thumb's going to be busy, and make sure you've got the timing. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So it's got that syncopation going on. And so if you can do that, then go back and make sure you've got the bass where it belongs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then it's just a matter of stitching the whole thing together. So you're going to have... that. Now we could also try a lick more like this. And what's going on there is we've got a single note lick it's using the fifth, the sixth, the flat seven, and the root. And again, you'd probably want to count this out first to understand where it lies over the beats before you try to combine it with the thumb. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 like that. And then, since the bass is always just on 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you can start to slowly piece the whole thing together once you know the melody and you know the bass. So just using these two licks, we could play them off against each other, and it's enough to start sounding like you have a little bit of a call and response idea going on. So there's your opening idea, and then answer it with that. But the other and even more interesting idea is that each one of these licks really contains two shorter ideas within it. So here, that's really one good idea that you can do all kinds of stuff with. And this is another good idea. And just taking those and turning them around, you could actually start with this and answer it with that, so that you get and similarly, that's a really cool idea in and of itself, or even that's enough to be like one thing that stands on its own. And then, what else have we got? We've got this other thing. So there's two ideas as well. One of those, and so you can see how you could take maybe the first idea and then answer it with the end of the second idea. Right? So now we've got a whole new thing we can do. Which is really cool. And you can just take all four of these little bits and start to shuffle them around and come up with other things that you can do. And at that point, the possibilities become almost endless, really working from a really small amount of material. But the main idea here is, major and minor pentatonic together gives you a much more satisfying and musical palette than either one of them all by itself, at least if you're going for this kind of sound in particular. So there's a lot you can do just with these few ideas right here. If you'd like to take this idea a lot further and learn more licks and more ways to move them around, including how to take them through an entire chord progression, including the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord, I will be teaching beginning and intermediate improvisation lessons for the key of C all this month in my membership, the Fingerstyle 5. And you can learn more about that at fretboardconfidential.com. Of course, if you've got a question or a comment about today's lesson, leave it for me down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.